Hello and welcome to Jason Albert TV. I'm Jason Albert. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to win any argument.
It's Jason Albert TV, the best videos on the internet you haven't seen. Jason Albert is so talented, I'm sure you'll agree. And if you don't, then you're an idiot.
One of my personal favorites is to simply make things up. Okay, but when you're blatantly lying, you need to say things like, from my research, or make up a random scientific organization in your head. The Countyville City Scientific Organization, right? The CCSO states this, and the other thing. And say it with confidence. Keep saying these made up facts, just bury your opponent with them. Because if you say things that sound confident, and you use names of organizations or sources, and you make them think that you're telling the truth, you're going to destroy your opponent every time. Another way to help kind of destroy your opponent in any argument is when they're telling you things, just simply say the word wrong. That's not true. That's not true. I've seen that study and it's not true. Oh, that's been debunked. Just say things like that. You don't actually have to counter with any counter facts. Just say that what they're saying is wrong. Another very, very effective way to win any argument is to shout your side louder than the other side is shouting their side. You feel me? Just get loud. Yeah! Just shout. Okay? Yell. Scream your side. It's always the loudest people that are heard the most. The next three I want to talk about are three of my favorite logical fallacies. Now, there are way more than three logical fallacies, but these are my top three. I tend to use these most when I'm, in a heated battle, in a heated debate, to really shut it down and take the W. So the next top three logical fallacies. The first one is what we call ad hominem. And what this one is this is essentially when somebody is debating their side of the argument, instead of debating their argument, you debate them, right? You insult them. So they're saying, we should have this policy and this policy, and then you respond with, instead of saying why we shouldn't have that policy, you say that you say something about that guy. How can we, look at this guy saying that we should have this when this guy can't even wear pants? Look at this guy, no pants guy, no pants man. Insults, right? Insults towards the guy arguing, not at the argument. That is key. You don't have to know anything about the argument. You just have to make this guy look like a POS, and then by association, his argument becomes POS. You feel me? The second logical fallacy is the straw man, or attacking the straw man fallacy. This is one of my favorite ones. So let's say somebody is saying something to you. Let's say, for example, someone says, we'll just use like the Medicare for all thing. It doesn't matter how I actually feel about it or whatever. I'm just using this as an example, right? So one guy is saying we should have Medicare for all, okay? Now, if I'm somebody that's against Medicare for all, but I don't have any facts, I have no statistics, I have no evidence, I don't know what I'm talking about, I might argue the Medicare for all with socialism is bad, right? Like I might say that, right? And then I might argue socialism. So he's saying this, and I'm saying, I'm going to the extreme, I'm attacking the straw man that's not even in this conversation. We're not even talking about socialism at all. We're simply talking about socialized medicine, but we're not talking about a full-blown socialist government. We're just talking about one little aspect. So instead of me going again, I'm not telling you how I feel or don't feel about Medicare for all. That's not important. I'm just simply explaining the situation. This is how I win arguments about certain things, is I find the straw man. I find the thing that is distantly related, and I argue that thing because it's easier to generalize than to talk about a specific thing. Remember that. It's easier to generalize than to get specific. You don't need as much information to generalize. You can just throw out, well, this is what happened here, country, 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 instead of saying policy, individual statistics, things, right? Those are difficult things to keep in the brain, but it's easier just to throw off blanket statements. So attacking the straw man would be fallacy number 2 that I really enjoy. The third logical fallacy that I think is the best is known as the slippery slope argument. This one I like the ride of it. It helps me win the argument, but it's also quite entertaining. Throw your hands up, folks. We're going down a slippery slope. Okay, so here's what it is. Essentially, let's say someone is saying something like, we need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. The way I argue that is using the slippery slope argument, which is you take that event, connect it to another event, to another event, to another event, and then eventually something catastrophic, and that's the argument, right? A slippery slope. I guess I should have did this. Slippery slope, right? So here's the example. Let's say you're arguing for a $15 minimum wage, and then I am against that, okay? You say, we need to have a $15 minimum wage for this, this, and this, and I come back and I say, no, Do you know what would happen if we gave everybody a $15 minimum wage? Just think about it. $15 for every hour worked, that means that each and every American becomes ridiculously wealthy. And then they all buy private jets. They all buy their own cruise ships. They all buy 6, 7 houses, just destroying, taking out all the rainforests. Before you know it, 10 years from now, the whole world is dead due to climate change, and it's all because of the minimum wage. See what I did there? I said $15 minimum wage equates to the planet dying in 10 years. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery, that you start somewhere. That's not the best example. I'm kind of going off the top of the dome here. That one is the best one of the previous 4 that I did. I actually did this take like 5 times to get to this story. I had one that ended like with like $15 minimum wage, and then everyone buys a bunch of guns, and then everyone keeps killing each other, right? One side kills that side, but then that side splits and that side kills that side until there's 2 people left, and then one person kills the other person, and then there's just one guy left, and he can't reproduce, and he dies, and there's no humans left on the planet, which is good for the planet, but then, you equate the $15 minimum wage to no people. It always ends in no more human beings, I think that's a slippery slope right there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the logical fallacies. There are others, but those are my favorites. But another way to win an argument is to simply do the I can't hear you, I can't hear you. And what you do with there, you take your fingers, put them and then the final way to win any argument is to simply just say, regardless of the outcome, I win. No one can argue with that. Thank you so much for watching. See you later, Crocodile.
If you like this vid, then like this vid. If you have something to say, then use the comment section. If you are not subscribed, then subscribe and hit the bell, please. If you don't do these things, you're an idiot.